Hey, this is Paul with Quickbase team with another Quickbase Quip. Today's Quip kind of applies across all our products. I want to tell you a little bit about how relational databases work at the very basics. So you're probably familiar with spreadsheets if you've worked in any business ever. And you probably had relationships between those spreadsheets without even really realizing it, where one spreadsheet tracks one thing and then another spreadsheet tracks more details of that thing. One example that I'm showing here on the screen is a project might be tracked in one spreadsheet, or in Quickbase terms, table, and then you may be tracking several tasks under that project. Sometimes people formulate this as one spreadsheet per project, with each row of the table being tasks. You could do it that way. In Quickbase, we would say you have a projects table, that's the parent table, and then you have a task table that's a child table. And so the projects table tracks every project, and then each project has several child tasks. This works in both Quickbase and Pave, and also works into any integrations you have with FastField back to Quickbase. Parent and child tables. So you can have as many projects as you need, and you can have as many tasks on each of those projects. And again, that's called a parent-child relationship. To take things one step further, you might have projects that have tasks and then have time cards for people working on those tasks. We would then call the project the grandparent and the time card the grandchild. But the same principles apply. You can have as many projects as you need, you can have as many tasks as you need, you can have as many time cards as you need. And all of those things will line up as long as the task is related to the project and the time card is related to the task. And you can summarize things all the way up to the project, like how many time cards are on this whole project, or all the way down to the time card, like what's the project related to the task related to this time card. One last thing, we also have many-to-many relationships. So let's say you have employees and you have tasks. One employee might have many tasks. One task might require many employees. You don't relate those two tables directly to each other. We use what's called a join table or a many-to-many table. So we would call that something like assignments. In the assignments table, we would track each pairing of one employee and one task, and then we would summarize back up to both tasks and employees what those assignments are. So a task could say, here's all the employees assigned to this task through the assignments table, or the employee could say, here's all of this employee's tasks through the assignments table. And again, that's called a many-to-many relationship. So this is just 3 quick examples of how a relational database works. If you understand these principles, it'll help you build in Quickbase, and it'll also help you build in Pave. If you can describe what relationships you're looking for, the Pave agent can build these just like you would build them manually in Quickbase. So that's today's Quickbase Quip. Thanks for watching.